Shows Donald Trump ahead, certainly on a number of questions. This one in particular, the survey shows that 55% believe Trump's presidency was a success. 61% say Biden's has been a failure. Overall, Trump has a 6% lead. And guess what? That's from CNN, so you know that had to hurt. Charlie, and talking of hurt, Charlie Hurt joins me now. Charlie, these polls, I mean, clearly good news for Donald Trump. Question is, can he hold the momentum to November?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that it's important. The fact that it's from CNN makes it even a more bitter pill for the Biden administration. And of course, those numbers are outside of the margin of error, which is very good. And I always caution against reading too much into polls at this point in an election. But I think that those success failure rates really are important. You've got Donald Trump plus 11%. Meaning 11% more people think it's his administration was a success, and Joe Biden is underwater by 23 points. That's devastating, especially when you consider the fact that both of their administrations were lined up back to back, and people can have a clear memory of what it was like. But to me, the most devastating number in that entire poll was the number that shows that public support for Joe Biden's handling of the war in Gaza is underwater by 43%, meaning that 71% of Americans think that Joe Biden's handling of that has been a failure. And when you stop and think about it, Joe Biden has been in Washington for 50 years. His greatest area of expertise is foreign policy. And on foreign policy, the most important foreign policy issue going on right now today, 71% of Americans think he is a failure. That is a stunning, stunning rebuke of Joe Biden.
That's got to hurt for him. But I want to get to this one, Charlie. I want you to listen to what Senator Lindsey Graham had to say about Trump's case for presidential immunity. Roll tape. I'll get your comment.
I think the court's going to find that presidential immunity exists for President Trump like every other president, but you got to be within the scope of being president. I think they'll send it back to the lower courts to find out exactly what actions fall within presidential immunity and what are considered personal. I think that's the way this will end. It will be some immunity for some of the actions.
So it's like partial immunity, I guess. How do you think this whole thing plays out, Charlie? Does Trump get immunity?
I think Senator Graham is exactly right. If you listen carefully to the arguments in the Supreme Court, they seem to be looking for a way to provide some important immunity to a president. The idea that we're going to go forward and be able to put every ex-president in prison because people didn't like things that he did during his presidency is absolute lunacy. That is not what the framers intended, and it's no way to run a country. And I would say that about Barack Obama or Joe Biden or Donald Trump. And so I think that I do think that the courts, they're going to try to find some way to do exactly what Senator Graham is talking about there.
Got it. Terrific stuff as always, Charlie. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.